Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile 2 video, and I'm going to talk about loot filters. It does apply a little bit to PoE 1 as well. So loot filters is kind of an interesting topic. I keep being asked about it. What filter do you use? Can I get my filter? Do you have a summoner filter? Do you have a filter for your build specifically? This is Path of Exile. Is my first comment, and my second follow-up to that is this is not a brain dead game like most other games. This game is a little bit, more advanced, I would say. So filters is very, very rarely going to be something you use that is specific to a build. The only time that would actually fit the criteria from my perspective is if you're playing hardcore, not even hardcore, but if you're playing solo self-found and you have zero interest in ever doing anything but that one build you're doing, then a specific filter for that character would make sense. The reason for this, especially now with 0.3 coming in, we have a synchronous trade being available, so we can manage our shops and sell items, for example, which is pretty nice. You can definitely do that. However, this means that I would obviously be interested in seeing loot on the ground that is there for selling, that I will not be using myself, that I'd be selling. So that means my filter now needs to make sure that it covers all of these things, not just the items for my specific build. So I've been playing Path of Exile 1 and 2 now for the past 11 and a half years, soon to be 12 years. And I have only ever once had a filter specifically designed for myself. The TLDR there was farming Mage Plus and Headhunters in PoE 1, and there was just too much loot on the ground doing magic finds. So I had to make an extremely limited filter specifically for looking at items that was worth money for that specific approach. So once in the past 11 years that I've been having a specific filter. So GHAZZY, where the hell do I get my filter? Now, I'm going to be giving a big shout out to my boy Neversink. For most of you guys already know of him. He has a website called filterblade.xyz. I'll leave a link in the description down below to this. This is the best place to find your filters for both Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2. You can just switch up here between your two games. We're going to talk about PoE 2 here. Now, you can play around with this and change things to your liking. Not something I would recommend if you're brand new to the game. I would rather you go for the generic approach to it. I'm going to show you the whole process of how to get these filters. So I'll show you what I'll do, but there are ways to make this happen to sync your PoE account to do this. I like doing it manually for a variety of reasons. You can change your own sound filters and whatnot if you want to dig into this world of filters in PoE in general. So this is what I do. I go to Filterblade, and I completely put my flaps up, my blinds, and I'll basically just tunnel vision export to PoE. Now in here, I can sign in if I want to. And again, I'll usually like to do this manually, so I don't do this. I click continue without saving. Then in this, I can download the filter that I'm currently customizing. Or the button below, you see it? There we go, that one, get all strictness as a zip file. I'll take get all strictness, and it will basically generate the generic Neversink base filters. And he is updating these consistently. Now that I have my filter, I take this, I take Control X, and then I go back in game. I click into settings, game, and I click on the little open your filter folder. I click on this button. I paste the filters. I have one already, so I replace it. I paste it in there. I extract all these files. Extract all, check. I take those filters, Control X, go back in here, Control V, replace the files, and bam, now I have all my filters. This, you click on refresh, and now I have all the strictness levels. So what do I do with these then? I never use the soft version. I use regular version. This is something I start off leagues with. My very first character, I run a regular filter. This is basically showing pretty much everything. The filters is designed to consider item level of drops on the ground. So this one is, all of the filters should pretty much work for you leveling through the campaign either way. I like using regular filter. So I just use this one. It will basically take away things that 99% of the player base will never even care about and highlight things that are worth something, like tier rare items, currency orbs and whatnot. Even sound effects, you'll have all of those things, which you'll see on most streamers and YouTube accounts making content. You'll see them all over the place. This is how we get this. Now, the way I determine if I'm going to increase the strictness of the filter, which means it's going to cut off things that I basically won't loot, like very small, super things. Like I'm not going to want to pick up regular transmutes or regular augment orbs, when I'm doing tier 15, 16 maps. So that's when these strictness things comes very well in hand. So what I do is I run a regular filter till I feel like I'm now not, like I drop a big pile of loot and I only picked up like one item. And if I feel like I'm doing that consistently or even not looting anything, then it's time for you to increase the strictness of your filter. And that's when you go to the semi-strict filter and you play that till maybe you start juicing your maps up to the point where you have the same effect, where you're dropping a lot of items, but you only really care about one or two, if any. So once you feel that happening, just go up a strictness level. That's how I do it. I'm currently playing on strict myself because I'm not super choosing my maps. I don't really need these other ones. So I'm running a strict level and I leave quite a few items on the ground, but most I pick up every now and then to check them out. I could probably move up to another strictness level and I won't even tell the difference, except that my screen will be less cluttered with things I don't care about. So that's how I approach filters in Path of Exile 1 and 2. And you can always play around with this, like I mentioned before, on the website. You can overview, you can change them. There's some modules, there's some customizations if you want to be picky and fiddle around with this. But my recommendation, if you're starting off, is to literally just export to PoE and grab yourself the baseline filters. I myself am using this, so I can vouch for this 100% time or 10 times over, like multiple times over. Jeez, I can't speak, getting a little bit tired here. But yeah, that's my recommendation. And if you want to play around with it, go for it. But that's what I would do. And that is my recommendation for filter usage in PoE. Again, big shout out to NeverSync on filterblade.xyz. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe, keep rocking.